Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. I am Priya Venkatraman from Pon Vidyashram School. Let us have a small recap of yesterday's session. We have discussed about the importance of irrigation and traditional methods of irrigation like pulley system, moat, etc. And even we have discussed about the modern methods of irrigation like sprinkler irrigation, drip irrigation, etc. Today we will start this session with a discussion about weeds. Children, have you ever seen the farmers uproot few plants in the field? Why they are doing so? Any idea? Yes, these are the unwanted plants called weeds. They grow along with the main crops. They are undesirable because they compete with the main crop for nutrients, space, air, light and water. Listen, in the field along with the crop, they automatically will start to grow. But there is one main disadvantage. The water which we supply to the plants, the fertilizers which we apply and the nutrients from the soil is not only utilized by the plants but also by the weeds. Even the weeds derive all the nutrients from the soil and the water which we supply to the plants and even the fertilizers which we apply the plants. So wherever there is the growth of weed, there will be some deficiency of nutrients, water and fertilizers. That's what we have to remove the weeds. They also spread pests onto the crops and sometimes produces poisonous substances which are harmful to animals and humans. The process of removing weeds from the field is called weeding. The best time for the removal of weed is before they produce flowers and seeds. Why? After the seed or flower, they will fall on the ground and again they will start from the seed, they will start to grow. So before that we have to remove the weeds. For example, grass, wild oats, these are considered as weeds. Clear? Okay. Let us learn about the methods of removal of weeds. This can be done manually with the help of some tools like harrow, hoe and kurpa. By using weedicides. Weedicides are nothing but chemical substances which destroy weeds but do not harm the crop are called weedicides. These are diluted in water. Weedicides are diluted in water and sprayed in the field. Children, do you know that weedicides are poisonous? Yes, they are poisonous. So, while spraying, few precautions to be taken. Right? Can anyone say? Yes, farmers, they have to cover their nose and mouth with a piece of cloth. In order to protect the crops from pests and from birds, farmers use pesticides like DDT and diuron. These two are the names of the pesticides. DDT should be written in capital letter. The abbreviation is, the full form of DDT is dichloro-diphenyl trichloroethane. This is an example of pesticides and one more is diuron. These are chemical substances. This will not do any harm to the crops. You can see some scarecrows in the field which protects the crops from the birds. Farmers use insecticides, fungicides and rodenticides to protect their crops from the insects, fungi and rodents. Clear? Being toxic, they can affect the health of humans. Since they can enter our bodies through fruits and vegetables, these should be washed thoroughly before being consumed. Let me conclude today's session. First one, weeds are unwanted plants or undesirable plants. Weeding can be done manually or with the help of some tools or with the help of some chemicals. Third point, farmers use pesticides and scarecrow to protect their crops. Thank you, children. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. I am Priya Venkatraman from Ponvidyashram School. Till our last session, we have discussed about various processes for the cultivation of crops. Plowing, sowing, applying manures, irrigation and weeding. Okay. In Tamil Nadu, people used to celebrate Pongal. In Punjab, people used to celebrate Baisakhi. Is there any coincidence between these two festivals? Yes, these are the harvest festivals. Now can you identify the topic which we are going to discuss about? Yes, it is about harvesting. We are going to discuss about harvesting. After all the processes like plowing, sowing, applying manures, irrigation and weeding, the crops will be ready for harvesting. What do you mean by harvesting? The process of cutting and gathering of crops from the fields after the crops have matured is known as harvesting. This can be done manually by sickle and even with the help of a machine called harvester. After the crop is harvested, there are two processes to obtain the grains by removing the unwanted things like chaff, husk, hay from the grain. The grain contains chaff, husk and even hay. These are the unwanted things which should be removed from the grains. For this, we have two different processes. The first one, let me explain in brief. Look at the picture. What do you observe from the picture? Can you identify the name of the machine? Yes, it is a thresher. After the crop is harvested, the grains are separated from the chaff by a process called threshing. Let me explain in brief. This can be done manually by striking the crop against a hard surface or by making farm animals trample the crop. Nowadays also you can see in the village sides, the farmers used to take the grains in their hand and they used to beat hardly against a hard surface like rock or small stone. This process is known as threshing. A machine called thresher is also used for threshing. In large farms, a machine called combine is also used. What is the difference between a thresher and a combine? A combine machine performs a dual job as a harvester for harvesting and thresher for threshing. Clear? Okay. Now let me move on to the second topic. Look at this picture. What do you observe from the picture? Yes, it is the process winnowing. Let me explain in brief. After the process threshing, the grains contain husk which should be separated from the grain. Winnowing helps in the separation of the grains from the husk. The grains, being heavier, fall straight to the ground while the light husk and hay are blown a little away by the wind. Winnowing is also done by a machine called winnowing machine. So, we can conclude after harvesting, there are two processes like threshing and winnowing to obtain the grains. Now, the food grains are ready for storage. The food grains contain more moisture content in it. So, the grains are dried in the sun to reduce the moisture content. Afterwards, on a small scale, farmers store grain in jute bags or metallic bins. On a large scale, food grains are stored in gunny bags in granaries. Food grains are stored in large godowns. Silos are tall cylindrical structure with openings. These are used for bulk storage of food grains. Children, do you think that the food grains will not get affected by the insects? Yes, chances are there. But the farmers fumigate the godowns and containers with insecticides and fungicides before storage. What do you mean by fumigation? Fumigation is nothing but insecticide solution will be converted into fumes. Let me conclude today's session with a recap. Process of cutting of crop after its maturation is known as harvesting. Threshing. The harvested grains are separated from the chaff. Winnowing. Separation of grains from the husk. Food grains are stored in silos in the godowns. On a commercial scale, fruits, vegetables and milk are stored in deep freezer. In this cold storage, the temperature is maintained between 0 degrees C to 4 degrees C. The low temperature prevents the growth of microorganisms. It also stops the action of enzymes present in fruits and vegetables and prevents their spoilage. Clear? Let me conclude today's session. After the crop is harvested, the grains are obtained by the process threshing and winnowing. Gunny bags and silos are used to store grains in the granaries. Fruits and vegetables are stored in deep freezer where the temperature is reduced to prevent the growth of microorganisms. Farmers, they even use dried neem leaves for the storage of food. Thank you, children. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. I am Priya Venkatraman from Pon Vidyashram School. When we talk about crop production and management, we must talk about few terms related to the content. Terrace farming or terrace gardening, hybridization, green revolution, animal husbandry, poultry farming and pisciculture. First one, terrace farming or terrace gardening. Terrace farming is invented by the people who lived in South African mountains. It is commonly used in Asian countries such as Vietnam, Philippines and Indonesia. In villages, we got sufficient space for cultivation. When we consider urban homes, we lack a yard or proper garden space. By using the terrace or roof to space for cultivation, it is known as terrace gardening. We can cultivate vegetables, fruits or flowers. The significance of terrace gardening is it improves air quality not only by reducing polluted air particles but also it supports the process photosynthesis. The second one is hybridization. Hybridization is a technique used for developing new varieties of crops by crossbreeding two different varieties. The new variety hybrid contains the desired characteristics of both the parents. It also helps in increase the crop yield. Next one, green revolution. There has been tremendous increase in the production of wheat crop in India during last 30 years. This is called green revolution. It has made our country self-sufficient in food grain protection and has improved the economic condition of farmers. Green revolution is brought about by importing high-yielding varieties of wheat from Mexico. New varieties of wheat with desirable characteristics were developed by cross-breeding methods. Next one, the science which deals with breeding, feeding and caring of domestic animals is called animal husbandry. Next one, rearing and breeding of poultry like hen, duck for eggs and meat is known as poultry farming. Next one, the production of fish on a large scale by farming fish in fish nurseries is known as pisciculture. Children, excluding this, I want to share few things with you, which are the scientific truth or facts. Yes, the first one, Organic farming is the farming method which entirely depends on biological methods with a maximum use of manure, biofertilizers and biopesticides with healthy cropping system. It involves no or minimal use of chemicals like fertilizers, herbicides and pesticides. The organic crop produce are safe to consume as they contain no pesticides. Clear? Next one, earthworms live in soil. They turn and loosen the soil. Their burrowing action creates channels through which plant roots penetrate the soil more easily. So earthworms are considered as farmer's friend. Sometimes manure is added to the soil before plowing. This helps in proper mixing of soil with manure. Sometimes fertilizers are also added before the sowing of seeds and sometimes are added after sowing of seeds. Clear? Nowadays, environment-friendly natural weedicides called bio-weedicides are being used. Some microorganisms like bacteria and fungi are used as bio-weedicides. Clear? Yes, I conclude this session with a value that farmers are the backbone of our country. We have to keep one slogan in our mind that if you eat today, thank a farmer. Clear, children? National Farmers Day is celebrated on 23rd December. We have to honor all the hard-working farmers. Since cattle also play a vital role in agricultural activities, we should not hurt animals. We obtain milk, meat, wool, egg and silk from animals, birds and insects. Even their excretory products also can be used as fertilizers. So let us all take a pledge that we should not hurt animals. Clear? Okay. Let us summarize the key summary points. Agriculture, the process of growing crops. Crop plants, plants which are grown in large scale to meet food requirements. Rabi crops, crops grown during winter. Kharif